Hello and welcome again to Silver Gold TV, your one place for all silver and gold related news. Hey guys, I got a very interesting topic to talk about today. It's basically I'm sure if you've been around, you've heard the story of the fisherman or the Mexican fisherman. But I guess it doesn't really matter if he's Mexican or not. But it's a pretty interesting story that I want to talk about because I heard this story twice in my life now. One, before my realization of how things work in the world, like when I was more close-minded, before I actually started my YouTube channel, and I heard it and I understood it in a certain way. And then just recently, I re-heard the same story, one for another, and I want to go over how different mindsets personally in the same individual. So if it happened personally to me, I'm sure it's gonna happen to everybody out there. If your mindset is not where in a growth state of mind, if you're like a minimalist, or you're enclosed and believe that wealth in the world is just limited or taken up or acquired by a few people and there's nothing more to grow, then you will see this story in one way. And now that paradigm has shifted for me, once I started my YouTube videos just a couple of days ago, I reheard the same story and I had a completely different perspective. So I have to get to that. It's called the Fisherman story. I will give you the story and we'll go over it, and then I'll explain what it was before and what is now. But again, I'll probably be paraphrasing because I don't want to get copyrighted or anything, but it's still a very interesting story that I believe everyone out there should listen to, because it's definitely something we all have to listen to and understand why. Alright guys, before we get to that, remember to check out my sponsor my sponsor ACUARIOUSPLATA.com. They have a Facebook page as well. They just told me it's easier for them to respond on that because it's not as overwhelming as their other page that involves both individual sales and wholesales. So if you want to get some information from them directly, you should hit them up on their Facebook page. It's Aquarius Plata on Facebook. I'll set up the link. So make sure you check them out, guys. Alright, now get back to the crazy video I got in store for you. First, I'm going to give you the story. The story basically, more or less, and again I'm paraphrasing, and you could go ahead and look for the story. The thing is, I'm not sure if it's copyrighted by someone or not, so I don't want to get hit up with a copyright, but I'll paraphrase and it'll be the same story, it's just with different words. Alright, so there's a businessman, a CEO that works in New York and is in charge of major tax firms, and is in charge of major brokerage, and he got sick, right? So he ended up going to his doctor. His doctor says, bro, you gotta slow down. If you don't slow down, you gotta take some time off, because he was getting sick because too much stress in his life. He was making them big bucks. If you know anything about money can be stressful. It happens, just the way it works, the way you work, the way you build wealth. Alright, so he says, alright, I'm gonna take a couple of months off. He's a wealthy man, he could do it. So he took some months off, went down to Mexico, a coastal part of Mexico, where generally most of everybody there kind of just fishes and lives and has a good time. Alright, so he had his house close to the beach, and a guy in a canoe that was fishing goes up to his house and tells him, hey, you want some fish? He's selling fish that he just fished, so it's the freshest fish you could get, right? Don't get fresher than that. So the CEO tells the Mexican in this case, hey, what are you doing? How long did it take you to fish that? And he's like, oh, just a few moments. And then the CEO is like, huh? And what do you do after that? Well, after that I go I go be with my family, play with my kids, have fun. In the afternoons, I go to the town square, hang out with my friends, play my guitar, have a good time with my friends, and then the next day I do the same thing. And the CEO kind of giggles, gives out chuckle of sorts, and he's like, "No, my friend, you have to go back, fish more. With the extra fish you sell more, and with the extra money you get, you save it, and then you buy a bigger boat. With that boat, you'll fish more, and then you sell more, and eventually you'll buy even more boats. And when you have enough boats, you're gonna have to move out of this coastal area and expand to the Gulf of Mexico or to another bigger oceans, and you probably end up in San Francisco area. And once you're big enough, you could start an IPO and set it up in the U.S. stock exchange, and then you'll have all the money you want." And then the fisherman responds to the CEO, "And then what, amigo? Then what's next? And how long would this take me?" Well, the CEO says, "This will take you 25, 30 years max." And then what? Responds the Mexican fisherman. And the CEO says, "Well, then you could retire, leave everything in order, have everybody in New York and proper management manage all your wealth, and you could just go back to your small town, play your guitar, have some drinks with friends, and be with your family." And the Mexican fisherman chuckles and doesn't understand. He chuckles and says, "No, amigo, I have all of that now." All right, guys. See, the problem with this story, I saw this story once a long time ago, and I thought it meant one thing. Well, during that time, my mindset was somewhere else, right? My mindset was like more about working, living, and just getting by and by. I wasn't really an investor as of yet. I wasn't really thinking in the macro perspective. Unfortunately, it happens at different times for different people, and the sooner it happens to you, the better well off you'll be when you're old. When you're old enough to actually to reap benefits from your investments and your rewards. So before I was an investor, back when I was just another media box observer, an observer, I understood this as I don't need wealth. I don't need riches. I don't need 20 to 30 years of work to get to where I want to be. I'm gonna live a simple life, a minimalist life, a life where I do what I want and just not worry about nothing. Sadly, that sounds very appealing, and I did it for a while because it's very appealing. It's simple. You go to work, you pay your bills, and you basically work, you pay your bills, and then you live your life. And I believe at least 80 or 90% of this country lives in that way, because the statistics say it. They have no money to cover any unexpected expenses over $500. Even less people have money to cover unexpected expenses over $1,000 without going into debt or credit cards. The national credit debt that we have in America, it's massive, man. It's massive. I think it's averaging like thousands of dollars an individual that has a credit. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. And I thought that was what the story meant. And in fact, for a lot of people in that mindset, that is what it means. So I'm talking about the danger of looking at information from a different perspective. Like if you see it as a minimalist mindset, you're like, all right, man, I don't need that kind. I don't need to be a rich billionaire. I could just be happy. But on the other side, that fisherman, unfortunately, is not thinking about his future. Is just thinking about himself. Let me give you a simple scenario. Let's say he's raising 2 or 3 kids, which is common when it comes to third world countries. And 2 or 3 kids is actually a small family. They have very, very voluptuous families. All right. So what happens when he passes? What is he going to leave his wife? And what is he going to leave his 3 or more kids? Are all 3 kids going to become fishermen on the one boat he has? Explain to me how that's even going to work. How can 3 fishermen work on one boat that only is big enough for one guy? Are they going to take turns going into the ocean? And if you're a fisherman, you know that doesn't work, because there's certain time, certain place, and you know there's a lot of things involved. So now that I see the world in a more macro perspective, I realize that if I just take the easy way, live, work, enjoy life, and there has to be a balance, obviously, but enjoy life. When I'm old, I will have nothing to give to my children or to my children's children, and that's the mindset that the general public has. The most people in the world have that mindset. I live, I grow, and then my kids figure it out. How many generations are you out there? And personally, I'm one of those generations. My parents taught me to be a good employee, to be a good worker, to have ethics, and to just, you know, do the right thing. But the right thing nowadays, it's very different from the right thing back then. Working for someone nowadays is unfortunately a necessity if you need the money. But if you could build your own company, guys, you have to build your own company. If you could build your own wealth, you have to build your own wealth. If you could become an investor, invest, because the only person having your back and protecting your wealth and the wealth and generational wealth of you, your children, and your children's children is your mindset. It's all your mindset, nothing else. Basically, you could choose to live a minimalist life and have your kids worry about their lives, or you could choose to change that paradigm, break generations of slavery, break generations of income slavery, break generations of a mindset that we live, we grow, and we die. We live, we grow, and we die. That's the mindset that a lot of people have. And I know this is hard to hear. It was hard for me to wake up from that paradigm where you're like, you're safe, your safe zone, where nothing matters and it's just you, and you don't have to think about the future because it's just gonna work itself out somehow. Well, I'll have you know, my parents taught me right, and I was able to get a good job, be a good employee, but that's not enough anymore. It's not enough. I'm still relatively young, and I will build my empire. I will grow, and I'm on YouTube, guys. I'm not just saying this out of like, just to like, how do I explain it? It's gonna be in videos. I've been able to grow substantially, and I will be doing reviews on other books that have helped me change my mindset. It really is all about change a paradigm. Change your paradigm in your mind, and everything else just becomes easier, man. It is. It's hard to want to wake up, but once you wake up, it's pretty easy, because everything changes. Like your surroundings change, your environment changes, everything around you changes. So basically, that's where I'm at right now, guys. I'm growing my wealth. I'm investing. I'm doing my best that I can. It's all going to be on video. If I end up being a millionaire, these are my humble beginnings. So hopefully, you know, shit, I hope I become a millionaire. I hope anybody who's watching me becomes a millionaire. As long as you want to put the work into it, let's grow, man. The world is abundant. The world could make every single person on the world a millionaire. It's all about whether you want to be a millionaire or not. For me, I want it. I no longer want to live a mediocre life. I no longer want to live a day-to-day life, paycheck to paycheck. I no longer want to be a wage slave. I don't want to be on that treadmill. I don't want to be in the rat race. I'm done with that. That's a part of my past, and it served me well. Don't get me wrong, it served me well when it served me, but now it's a different time, man. It's a different time. It's a time to grow, time to expand. The world is changing so fast, guys. Like, you have to reach out to other companies that are starting now, to yourselves, to friends, to people. Pick your friends, guys. Pick your friends. If you don't know how to pick your friends, you ain't going nowhere anytime soon. Alright, guys, so again, micro mindset will make you believe that you could just live, grow, and not worry about the future. Macro mindset is what the big Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the big names that have generational wealth. I heard the Rockefellers have more money that any one single human could count in his lifetime. That may or may not be true, right? I don't know, but they have a great wealth, man, and they didn't build it just because one guy got lucky and then he inherited to a bunch of people that were not educated, and then they just squandered it like other millionaire families. No, man, you have to build generational wealth. I may not make, hey, if I don't become a millionaire, I know my children will be a lot better off to become millionaires, and if they don't do it, their children will be a lot better off. It's a stepping stone, man. Stop thinking about your individual self. Think about your children. Think about the future. Think about when you're old. Think about what the sacrifices you're doing now have to be productive, man. Have to give you something to be proud of. There's nothing better in this world than being proud of something that you create. There's nothing better in this world than challenging yourself and achieving it. And if you challenge yourself and you fail, it's alright, guys. It's alright. It's not the end of the world. Trust me. It's not the end of the world. And you'll get back up. You don't lose when you fall. You lose when you give up. If you give up, you lose. If you give up, go back to being the minimalist. And you'll become that minimalist that's scorned. That minimalist that tried and failed and didn't have to keep going. So you become a major roadblock for everybody else. Imagine your karma, man. Imagine your karma if you were a guy that tried, failed, went back to being a minimalist, and now you spend your day, your time to keep your eye open, your ear open, and if you hear someone saying, oh, I want to try this, I want to try that, the first thing you say, no, man, I've tried that shit before, it don't work. No, man, don't try that. That's bad for you. You're going to lose this. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're destroying people's dreams, man. You're destroying people's dreams. And if you are one of those people that are out there destroying people's dreams, that's why I'm telling you that want to have a macro mindset, that want to grow. Pick your friends, guys. Pick your friends. Your friends are more important to you than anything in the world, man. We're not individuals in this world, man. This world requires community. This world requires growth. This world requires you to pick your friends. And they're not these online friends, guys. Online, you will never find true friends. Yeah, they might talk really nice online. Then we actually meet them. They might be a chick, a dude, both, neither. I mean, dude, I'm not even bashing nothing. I'm just saying you don't know who you're talking to when you're talking to people online. And that's not because I'm against the internet. No, look at this. This is innovation. YouTube was not around before. Innovation is great, but just use it wisely. I built this YouTube channel to get to know people that want to grow, to get to know people that want to be big, powerful in this world. If they don't manage it, they want to make sure their children get closer to getting there. And then again and again and again until we get there. It's not about destroying the 1%, guys. There's been 1%ers every time the economy resets. And when this new economy resets, and if you're in the right place, you may be the 1%. I definitely aim to want to be there. It's up to you guys. If you guys want to do it, if you guys don't want to do it, pull through, man. If you don't do it for yourselves, Do it for when you're old and you can't work. If that's if you're single, and if you're married, do it for your wives when you pass away and your wives don't have nothing. And don't be counting on these 401k plans, man. You are much better controlling your assets than anything else, man. Power to you, people. Power to you, man. I want you to feel the power, man. Be big, grow, get strong, get a stronger mindset. Don't let people break you down, destroy you. If you want to talk, man, I'm open to talk. I want to meet people that are willing to grow. You know my email. You could hit me up here, or I got a lot of other places you could hit me up. I'll make sure I'll link it up. We gotta think and grow big. I know that's a book. You may want to look into that book too. So again, the same information with two different mindsets give different results. So the first thing you have to do is change your mindset. Once you change that mindset of yours, the world changes. The same words, man, I say the same story had two very different impacts on the same individual. The only thing that changed was my mindset. Once I changed my mindset, boom, the story gave me a completely different understanding of the world. So guys, be careful with the information you are given. And be more careful and be more thoughtful and more mindful of where your mind is. If your mind is not in a growth sense, then you're only going to read books and adapt and gravitate to the information that makes you happy. And you will be happy temporarily, man, but temporary bliss at the cost of a lot of things in the future. So you gotta know what you're doing, guys. Don't F it up. Have a great day, guys. Again, that's Silver Gold TV. Make sure you subscribe if you want to get inspired, if you want to grow, if you want to be everything you could achieve, man. This place is the place to be. See you around, guys.